I think mind maps are one of the most important things that you can do as a designer just to help you think, to help you conduct research, and also to showcase to a client that A, you know what you're talking about, and B, to ask for opinions and to reconfirm your own design process before you even start. Now, you can do this on paper. I prefer to do it on GoodNotes just because then I can just copy the page, do another mind map, and be on my way. So, how does this actually work? Well, let's go through it. So you got your main topic. For this example, I'm going to use an app. The app's project is Neighborhood Jobs App. So the concept of this is you basically, in your location, in your town, neighborhood, etc., you are going to apply for very basic jobs. So like babysitting, dog walking, cat sitting, picking up trash, community events, that type of thing. Okay, for jobs that are very low physical labor, low maintenance. You don't really have to think about it while doing it, kind of thing. So let's go through it. So the niche. So you have the subtopic, which is in this case, it's going to be the niche. So you break it down. Well, what's the competition? What's the market? And what's the design and the branding, right? So let's go through it. The competition. Are there others like this, right? For example, would one argue that Angie's List is kind of like this? Or is there another neighborhood chat group app that is on the market? That's up for you as the designer to research. You need to research what exactly is the competition. You can then take inspiration from them, or you can see what they're doing wrong. Both work, right? So what's the size, right? So if you're competing, for example, let's just say Upwork is your main competitor and Fiverr is also your main competitor. Well, all of a sudden, their size is much bigger than yours. Plus, they're backed by capital. You are only backed by whatever is in your bank balance, and maybe if you have a partner, then as well, right? And then profit. Now, the reason I include profit is because I want to know, is the app that we're doing, are there other profitable apps? Because if everyone has an app that is, for example, the Neighborhood Jobs app, and it's not profitable, well, then it's not really a business. It's more of a charity, right? So that's why I want to look at profit. So now let's look at jobs. So the market. What kind of jobs would this market be interested in? Well, it's mainly targeting teenagers. Okay. So the target market is teenagers, college kids who are returning from summer vacay, or who are returning from college for summer vacay. And what kind of problems would they have, right? So they need money. The parents don't want them sitting on the couch all day. They want to gain experience. They want to build relationships in the community. This is more, if they have a copywriter, they will handle this more stuff. But if they don't have a copywriter, you might want to focus on their problems, their insecurities, etc., just so that you have an understanding of going through the user's mind. Okay? Now let's go to design and brand. So what is the logo like? Do you need to design the logo? Do they already have a logo? Are they just going to use AI crap for it? What is it, right? And then the tone and voice. So is this going to be a serious app? Is this going to be a goofy group chat yik yak type of app? What's the tone? What is the voice? And this is where you talk to your client and you say, hey, I have a serious tone. I have a normal voice. I have a professional tone. It's more casual tone. What's the vibe we're going for? And then illustration and imagery. Does the client have this, or do you need to draw? Do you need to do some vector art for this? Do you need to pull some Pinterest inspiration, right? What is going through the client's mind? Do they know what they want? And if they don't, well, then walk them through it, right? So let's go to the type and the color, right? So obviously if you're designing on iOS, you're going to want to use SF Text Pro. If you're designing on Android, it's going to be Roboto. Sorry, I'm using Spanish. So, and then if the client doesn't want to design with that for whatever reason, whatever, enter Geist Acumen. You know, your typical sans serif fonts will do nicely for any type of application on iOS and Android. And then color, obviously, what's the brand color? Green, yellow, red, and then from there, do backgrounds, your text colors, your warnings, your primary colors, your secondary colors, your borders, etc. Right? So strategy and business. Now this is where you can actually make your voice be heard with what is the overall strategy, what is the business goal, because at the end of the day, you're designing for the business, right? And it's not for some pet project, right? So with the growth, how will this app grow? It's a legitimate question. How will this app grow? Well, the owner says it will be from referrals and viral content. Okay, pretty good. So you're going to get your first users. You're going to have them do viral content. You're going to have them posting about their experiences and just keep going. All right, good. So monetization. How are you going to monetize this app? So are they going to be subscribing for one time? Are they going to be subscribing monthly, yearly? Are you just going to have ads for the free users? What's the ideal monetization policy, right? So partnerships. Are you going to do partnerships with your local community? Are you going to do it with your city council? Are you going to do it with your local church? What's the team up? What's the JVs like? Are you going to have an email list where you say, hey, all you nature lovers, if you want to discover how to feed birds, for example, my partner John has a great app. That's a JV, for example. And you can learn more about this in marketing books, because I am not a marketer. I'm a designer. All right. And what's my favorite? The UI UX, right? So what are the screens? Obviously, you want to have jobs, profiles, star ratings. What is this person legit? Is this person real? Is this person good? Is this person terrible at the job? What's their ratings like, And then one of the things that would be interesting is GPS and location. All right, you'll want to see what jobs are these jobs close? Are these jobs far away? Who knows? And then animations. Ooh, I would like to see some animations on the onboarding process. I would like to see them on the calendar. And as you design, you can keep going back to this mind map and be like, the animations, onboarding, it doesn't look good. Let's change it to instead the ratings. When you submit a 5-star review, you get a nice little celebratory confetti, for example, right? The users. The users. You'll want to have your personas, right? This will come from the marketing research. What do they like? What do they dislike? Are they more serious? Etc. And then validation, right? You want to have the user experience, and you want to see if they're actually doing what you expected them to do. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes your app might not be what they expected, and it might flop, and you have to go back to the drawing board. That's where the validation comes in. And that's why you need to validate before you even invest, $600,000, for example, into this app, right? So that's just a little bit of how the mind maps work. What you can do is you can show this to the client right after you get them onboarded, and you can literally say, hey, here's what I've been doing. What do you think? And it already starts you off on a strong footing, because what other person is sending them right after they sent the invoice, right after they paid the invoice, rather, then you are saying, oh, here's something already. And they're like, whoa, that was fast. It's like, wait, yeah, I'm supposed to be fast. And that's something I like to do. For me personally, I like to be fast, but I also like to be good, because there are only 3 things that you can get: cheap, fast, good. And you can only get 2 of them at the same time. I like to be good and fast. So in order to do that, I need to do this very quickly. I need to have a rough sketch, and then from there I can go into Sketch, create the board, create the screens, and go through my reconfirm design process. So hopefully this helps you as a designer. Hopefully this helps you as a business owner if you're doing this solo. If you are a business and you are interested in getting your website or your app designed or redesigned, visit me at www.narrativenights.com. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.